You know, when I made my Synthetic Man video about 2 months ago, I knew in some part of me I was going down a bit of a rabbit hole, and I didn't want to go all the way down, but I did it all the same. And the last thing I expected to find down in this rabbit hole was Synthetic Man fangirls. More specifically, the Synthetic Man fangirl. I'm of course referring to Anna Waifu, and one of my friends recently asked if she's actually a fangirl or just some kind of troll, and to that I say, yes. Yes, she is. She gets legit upset at other supposed fangirls of Synthetic Man. The fact that he has multiple fangirls apparently, ooh, that just makes the skin crawl a little, don't it? But not only that, she's also dedicated herself to going about with Kim Jong-un and their little beef with Synthetic Man, over him rightfully calling out Synthetic Man for being creepy and doubling down on his little take on why 14-year-old characters in God of War Ragnarok needed to fuck.
Where did you get that from this? This is honestly the worst part of the entire thing. Like, he actually said that. This is something Kim said. This is something he said about Synthetic Man. When did Synthetic Man ever say that he wanted them to have sex with each other? Like, are you fucking serious, man? Dude, I can't, dude. That is stupid. Synthetic Man never said that. Just because you want a character to get together or show some types of feelings does not mean you want them to have sex with each other. This is stupid.
All Josh said was that it was fucking creepy that he was still doubling down on this.
He is not fucking doubling down on his creepy ass take from the God of War video, is he? My fucking god, no. Him getting mad at Atreus and Angrboda not having romantic interest in each other was creepy as shit.
But I'm not even going to touch on that one, for now anyways. Instead, we're going to focus on this absolute abortion she put together on why casuals have ruined gaming, despite the fact that casuals are why gaming is as big as it is now. So it's pretty clear that we're dealing with
a very low IQ person.
But I don't think we need any more prep here. Let's just jump right into it.
Oh boy, another video about politics and gaming because I hate myself. About politics and gaming.
God damn that voice crack. Like, I know I'm not the best one to talk because I'm very inconsistent. In the last video I did on Smash, I was very, very rough because I was a little bit under the weather. But all the same, whenever I noticed myself sounding that bad, I tried to cut it out or fix it up in some way, shape, or form. Like, don't take this as hard as you want to take Synthetic Man's dick here. This is just something you gotta work on, because it's really, really distracting. And it's gonna carry on throughout this video, so get used to it.
So what are we going to talk about today, kiddos? Well, it's going to be about how casuals ruin gaming, and it might get political in some areas, so I guess leave if that bothers you.
Keyword there being that it might get political when it absolutely shouldn't. But I tell you what, I'll hear you out and see how fucking stupid you get, because this is a subject that inevitably always gets fucking stupid.
This video is going to be about everything than just casuals, so I hope you enjoy this video.
That thing's green! Green!
Ever since I was 6 years old, I've played video games. My first ever exposure to gaming was a Game Boy my mom gave me, that she had, and I played Pokemon Red for hours and hours.
Not sure why you think people need a history lesson on you and your experience with gaming in order to talk about why it's gone downhill. But sure, whatever. This is gonna go on for quite a bit, so you know what I'm gonna do. And I know I already said as much in my G-Coops video, but according to these Synthetic Man fanboys, I'm childish for that skipping, so you know I'm gonna do plenty more in this video.
Yes, I play on console gaming industry. Gaming was popular use. I play consoles games, I've gone games, I've researching. Video games always into a specific niche. Most people got away with games. And then in 2012, 2013, the casuals started playing video games and fucking ruined everything.
I'd love to be the one to break it to you, but casuals have been in gaming since the inception of it. Otherwise, gaming would have never gone past two guys fucking around their college experiment with missile technology, making tennis for two or whatever it was. Like, no, if you want actual legit history on video games, go to Ahoy, where he'll cover the inception of gaming, and how it all led up to everything it is now. And unlike some people, he actually takes his sweet time to fact-check everything he says. But that's beside the point, and I still don't get why you've decided that those years in particular are when casuals infiltrated, and why that's the year that everything went downhill. Hope you're gonna give some good reasons on that one. Don't disappoint me here, I'm not gonna call her Anna, fuck. Because I know some Annas that are actually pretty cool. So instead I'm gonna call you Synthetic Groupie for the rest of this video, or SG for short.
So you could be saying, isn't it a good thing that more people are playing video games so you aren't bullied anymore? The answer is no. No, sir, it's not a good thing. The issue of casuals entering a medium like this is that they don't really care about the medium itself. They want to change everything to fit their own narrative or their standards of what gaming should be.
If a casual didn't care about the medium itself, they would stop as soon as they start and realize it's just not for them, because that's what most humans do. It's people that actually want to be involved in something that insist on certain changes, if that absolutely happens. And even then, they're typically met with, well, that's pretty unreasonable. Like, I know when I got someone into some games, they weren't immediately demanding it change to fit their narratives, or what they feel needs to happen. No, they got good at the game and realized certain games aren't for them, and we carried on from there. But of course, we're going with the same narrative that the weebs have adopted as their gospel. That because they didn't gatekeep enough, they got all these casuals coming in and ruining their little fandom there. Simply by pointing out things that could improve and make things objectively better. But what are you going to do there? So if you want to make yourself sound even more like a weeb, go right the fuck ahead. We're gonna laugh at you even more though.
And young people who didn't grow up with video games don't give a shit about to play older ones.
Now that is some absolute horse shit, because in the last 2 years I brought my computer around my little brother and showed him some of the good old classic games and such. And when given the option of whether he wanted to play Last of Us multiplayer or the latest mods on Doom I found, guess which one he chose? Exactly. So again, just gotta make up shit in order to have this little narrative that gaming has been ruined by people who don't care. This just comes off as fucking desperation, which I guess is your entire shtick, so what can you do there?
They just want to play their God of War Ragnaroks or Call of Duties or Assassin's Creeds, GTA, whatever it is.
And that's a problem how? Because all the examples you just provided are fucking awesome games, except for maybe God of War Ragnarok. I haven't played that one, I did not give a shit for the God of War reboot, and I said, yeah, I'm just out. Don't really care where they're going with this series now. And Assassin's Creed is always just gonna be fun to laugh at, even though another one of my brothers has a soft spot for every entry in the series.
They don't care about quality, they care about graphics and if it's relevant. It doesn't matter if the game is good, it doesn't matter if it's going to make them happy, or if it's $60 worthy.
Hun, if that was the case, there wouldn't be copies of Forspoken showing up in landfills. If all they care about is graphics and not quality, then that would have been the best-selling game of all time. Just goes to show that these people don't live in any form of reality whatsoever.
No. If Markiplier talks about it and it's got decent graphics, it's a 10 out of 10. Like, why do casuals care about graphics so much? I don't get it.
Seeing as how I take the phrase filthy casual as a badge of honor, I can tell you why they care about graphics so much. They don't for the most part, but at the same time, if you want me to play your game for hours on end, why not at least try and make it look pretty?
It's that easy!
I really don't. I really don't know. Either they're being sponsored or something else. Like, these people say that Jim Sterling or the Act Man give good, criticisms and reviews on games.
I'll debate with them on a case-by-case basis when it comes to the Act Man and whether he gives good reviews and criticism or not. But fucking Jim Sterling? I don't even think the retarded side of Reddit would say that much about Jim. And if they are saying that, then they clearly haven't watched my Jim Sterling videos. Quick shameless plug.
No, they don't. They don't care about giving you quality entertainment. They care about shilling stuff to you.
Oh, totally. That's why Ackman's review of New World is still up and it's still the most popular video on his channel. Since, he just cares about shilling things for some money.
YouTubers like these people aren't your friends. You're a dime in a dozen. Another penny that goes to their pockets.
Well, no fucking shit.
And somehow you think Synthetic Man is different just because you squealed over him reading your super chat?
I fucking hated God of War Ragnarok, I'll be honest. And a cake, thanks to $2. Be my Valentine Synthetic Man.
Talk about fucking pathetic.
Like, I get it. Someone that you think is nice and handsome, you trust them, I get it. And they're popular, which again, popularity and graphics does not make a good game.
Okay, hold up, my brain is frying a little bit. We just went from talking about how YouTubers don't care about you and how they just see you as an online piggy bank, and how you might like them because they're popular and they look good, and then back around to graphics and their importance in games. Like, holy shit, this is almost as bad as Super Smash's videos. Almost.
Of course, they also have the exception, or the obsession, with making games like movies, which I don't understand. You buy games to play them, not watch them like movies. Can you see something like Dead Space 2 or Kirby as a movie? Do you know how boring that would be?
I thought the same things about the Pokemon, Sonic, and Mario movies. All of them turned out solid, so as long as you got good writing behind the premise, I guess you can make anything.
What is so entertaining about sitting on your couch with your controller watching 10 minutes worth of cutscenes? I really don't get it.
It's the same appeal as visual novels and why there's so many of them on Steam. There's clearly a market for them. If you're not into them, that's fine. That's why there are thousands, if not millions, of other games you can go and play instead.
Am I alone here? Aside from Synthetic Man?
Get this bullshit flower crown off my screen right now. I've literally gone softer than a goose feather.
Am I alone? Am I wrong? I see all cutscenes. Just play a game. God. Speaking of Synthetic Man, please make one video. My first video. Also, I will not rest until I have a Synthetic Man and Act Man video collab.
Why?
Assuming we do find a way to tap into that dark alternate reality, I think that just might be the thing that makes me hate Act-Man more than anything ever has. Just saying.
I am the Lorfax, and I speak for the trees.
Oh, casual gamers. The number one thing ruining this industry. So you're probably wondering why I'm putting the reason gaming is so horrible above the politics session, and the answer is...
because it would take your retarded brain a few more minutes to process everything you want to bitch about. There, mystery solved.
You know, going into this, I knew that I would have to talk about the worst thing in the gaming industry, because to me, I don't think it's the lefties that are totally ruining this industry. It's a big part of it, but casuals are the reason lefties are even in this industry.
And clearly those goddamn lefties are the real problems in gaming nowadays. Not the fact that there's never been any less quality control in AAA games, yet the price has never been higher. Not the fact that games preservation is an absolute joke if a game is more than 3 years old. Not the fact that developers end up crunching a game so hard they end up in the hospital afterwards. Nope, all that is tiddlywinks in the world of gaming. The real problem is the fact that some people holding the controller happen to vote for Joey. Like, that's the fucking virtual Holocaust and we don't even know it.
Because as the video game crash of the 80s and 90s, all the industries were wanting to improve graphics and try to broaden their horizons to get everyone into gaming.
Two things. One, no fucking shit. Of course the companies want as many people into gaming as possible. That's how they make more money, which is, you know, their entire point for existing. And secondly, you're really showing your ignorance, because there was no game crash in the 90s. At all. That was the fucking renaissance of gaming, with things like Doom and Tales coming about. And of course, they only came out because of that imaginary crash that happened in the 90s. Without it, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Even though casuals care less about gaming, it's really pretty fascinating to watch how downhill this industry went in just 2 decades. That's what happens when you don't gatekeep, because if you don't gatekeep, people ruin everything.
All I'm gonna say is if more people getting into a hobby is what ruins that hobby, then that hobby was dog shit in whatever iteration it was before all these people got into it. Because it makes absolutely no fucking sense why you'd want less people enjoying something. Even if they don't care as much as you might. Just having more people to talk about it at all should be a good thing.
Just like Elvis Presley.
Hot take, but Elvis Presley was dog shit from the beginning. You all might have noticed that I like putting 50s rock and roll underneath all my voiceovers, for the most part anyways, but I will never do that with any Elvis Presley shit. He is the definition of a participation trophy.
Man, what can I even say at this point? We all know why casuals are ruining everything.
Because you found a way to upload all that information into our brains without going into the subject at all. Because we've talked about jack shit as far as how casuals have ruined the game industry so far. All we've heard is that they supposedly don't care and they only care about graphics. In other words, they care about how the medium looks. Sounds pretty contradicting on how much they don't care, but I'm not even surprised that her brain's frying out this fast. Considering the way she religiously follows Synthetic Man, that would fry anyone's brain cells and put them in a McDonald's Happy Meal.
And do you think these people apologized or at least said that they were wrong when these people were messing with us?
Cope harder. You are not owed an apology for some random insult someone might have gave you or the fact that you played games or that you played certain types of games. That is a literal non-issue. So grow the fuck up and get some actual problems.
Calling us nerds, geeks, and overall treating us like Mexicans working in a cotton field.
Imagine being so insecure about your opinions on your hobbies that you compare basic jabs from other people to you being treated like a slave in the field. Like, the desperation some people have to be vindicated on their bullshit just really leaves me speechless.
No, of course not. They're not apologetic. They don't care about quality. They don't care if the game is actually good. They don't care. They just want to fill their lives with as much shit as humanly possible.
Crazy thought here, but that's probably because the entire point of life is to collect as many experiences as you can before you die. And I'm gonna stop myself before I get all philosophical on that one.
Just like people who binge Netflix.
And now we're comparing casuals to fucking Netflix viewers. Because they're totally similar mediums that require similar brain activity.
They don't care if the show is good. If it's there, they can stuff their face with Cheetos. Why give a shit about the quality? We're living in an era where quantity wins over quality. Put a bunch of shit out and people will eat it up no matter how bad it is, because video games are just a pastime to these people.
Games are just a pastime, period, no matter who it is. Even the hardcore gamers that make up less than a percentage of the fucking people who buy games, they use it as a pastime and nothing more. Granted, they spend more than half a day on that pastime, but it's a pastime all the same. Also, if people really didn't care about quality and they only care about quantity and such, then explain why the Fallout community pretty much accepts that New Vegas is the last good one. After all, they should only care about quantity, in which case Fallout 76 should be the best one ever. Huh, it's almost like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
They're always moving on to newer things that their favorite childish YouTubers are talking about. Whatever is popular, they believe it's good, and then in a month they will forget about everything they played.
I swear if this bitch brings up the toxic positivity quote from Synthetic Man, I'm gonna fucking shoot myself, because that was cringe as fuck the first time around.
The real issue with casuals is that they don't care about the medium they're associated with.
Or they just have other lives outside of gaming. I know, shock horror that people have more than one hobby. That's totally unheard of. And if that's the big problem you have with casuals, then it's a good fucking problem to have. In which case, we need more of them.
Who cares that there's wokeness in video games? Who cares that white characters have been changed to black? Who cares that the game crashes every few seconds because these games are so poorly optimized? Oh my god, I hate modern games so much.
You brought up a whopping one actual issue. Oh no, they changed the brightness on some pixels. The end of the world is coming. Oh no, there's a bathroom sign that was in the original 15 years ago. And you wonder why people bullied the shit out of you. This is what happens if you don't.
Who cares? Who cares? Man, this is such a hard video to make, guys. This is such a hard video to make, guys.
This video ain't the only thing that's been baked, apparently. And I'm not just talking about myself after I've been eating on them brownies.
It's like writing the script and recording is so hard to do. Seeing my favorite medium being thrown under the bus like this is so freaking depressing. Casuals, this is your fault.
I expect my thank you note in the mail, because if I somehow got more people into a game and got them to enjoy it, and actually live their life while they did so, then fucking mission accomplished. I feel awesome then.
You could be saying that it's lefties, but what do you think lefties are? Casuals. I just can't anymore. I can't, man. I'm done. I can't.
I just can't do it. I can't take this shit no more, man.
Casuals are people like Jim Sterling.
Nope, because the only thing that Jimbo plays with is his gym plants. Ain't no games anywhere near him.
People who pretend they care about gaming but could care less if it disappears off the face of this earth.
So in other words, they treat it like a hobby and don't make it the beginning, middle, and end of their life. Sounds pretty fucking normal to me.
Casuals care about graphics and story, and care if their favorite popular gamer guy is talking about it. The game doesn't matter, it's all about the perception around the game, if they care about it.
Speaking as a casual myself, those are the last things that come to mind whenever I'm thinking whether the game is good or not. Although the biggest deciding factor for me is the music. If you got shit music, I'm dropping the game no matter how good it might turn out to be in the end.
But before I get lost, let's talk about something I hate, not as much as casuals, but it's pretty damn annoying. Mother of God, I hate nostalgia eaters.
Not sure how they play into casuals and how they're supposedly ruining gaming. This sounds like it should be its own separate video, so I'm gonna skip over this and make it its own separate response. Stay tuned for that one.
Oh my god. Lefties. The scariest thing ruining this industry. Lefties are something from another world. A species of alien that targets everybody that doesn't agree with them, wanting to cancel for the stupidest things.
And people like you are so different. I mean, you only throw around the word woke to the point that it has no meaning whatsoever at this point, just because you see a woman or a black in the front and center.
They're not being politically correct in every area of life. They will call the deaths of your families if you vote Trump, if you say men can't be women, or if you say women should know how to cook and clean. Oh my god, prepare for World War IV.
And activity like that is going to happen on both sides of the aisle, so I don't know why you're treating this like it's mutually exclusive to the lefties, or why it's only a problem in gaming. At this point, you're just flapping your gums to flap your gums. Whatever you gotta do is stretch this video out to 10 minutes.
I can't believe we let it get this far. Like, how did this even happen? Oh, Anita Sarkeesian says that male gamers are sexist and racist pigs, and we all have to bow down to her wishes.
Gee, could you beat a dead horse just a little bit more? I don't think I've heard that bitch's name enough in the last decade.
But we all know why this happened. It was casuals, because as soon as lefties knew they could put their propaganda in their games, they did it. We all know this, except the ones who pretend it doesn't, or it's not as bad as people want to portray it. But we know the truth. We know why they're doing this, because I guess when they were kids...
I've never been more disappointed to not be left-leaning. Who knew you started out as a kitten? That sounds fucking perfect. This is why you need to re-record your lines when you flub. Otherwise you sound even more retarded than you already are. And this is a fucking scripted video, so you had every opportunity to catch this. Me, I don't use scripts, and I still catch my mistakes.
But whatever. Lefties are just miserable people that want to get revenge on their parents or their friends that don't believe in their brainwashing ideology. It sucks too.
Not as much as your editing sucks. Holy shit. Let's listen to that again.
Brainwashing ideology. It sucks too.
Why did you cut it so sloppily like that? Like, holy shit, add a little bit of space between your sentences. Just tap on the arrows twice and see if that gives you enough distance for it to sound right. Like, besides laziness, I think the only other justification she would have for cutting both of them so terribly like that would be she flubbed them both so terribly, and then she thought combining two bad takes would turn it into a decent one. It's not how it works, princess. I know I've been harping on her editing a little bit too much, but this one's especially bad, and don't think I'm above this criticism myself. I've noticed a few of them in some of my older videos. I'm like, god damn, I really should have done better, which is what I'm trying to do now.
Because people who actually want to make a female main character, or a black character, or a gay character, or a story, or whatever with no motive behind it, they will still get lumped into the category of being lefty, you know, casual, whatever. Because we can't tell the difference anymore with the oversaturation of companies shoving all this leftist shit in our faces.
And that's their problem how? That sounds more like a problem on you, since you're the one constantly calling everything woke if it has a black person or a woman in it. So this is what we call making a rod for your own back.
But I will move on before I get shadow banned off YouTube.
Why would you tease us with the good ending like that? But anyway guys, I think that's where I'm going to leave this video at, since after this all she does is repeat everything she said word for word almost. And I think she's slayed enough brain cells for one day. Anywho, moral of the story, you're a bad person because you got more people into gaming, because now we can't fit them all into the same locker room and lock them up. So shame on us for trying to share our hobby and have a little extra fun. But anywho, now that we know what our oh-so-bad crimes are, I think we can rest a little bit easier while we play our games. Which is what I'm going to do when I'm finally done responding to that other clip of hers. And you might be thinking, surely there isn't that much stupid in a less than 2-minute clip of her ranting about nostalgia eaters. That's where you're wrong, kiddo. And plus I've made videos out of less, so fuck it, why not? But anyway, thank you guys for checking this video out. Leave a like if you liked it, leave a dislike if you didn't. Either way, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to check it out, and I appreciate all the support the channel's gotten recently. You guys are the fucking best, and I'll talk to y'all later.
Peter, we've had complaints from all over town. You're gonna have to stop with the kicking. Oh, yeah? I think my scary, otherworldly, shadowy spirit friends might have something to say about that. Ghost.